Hi, this is Lee Langdon. Today on the podcast, I talk to Cici Higgs. Cici has been in our young adult ministry since her college graduation, and many people know her well. But I wonder how many people in our ministry have seen her ice skate or have heard her play the violin. Cici is full of talent. By the way, I'm putting some YouTube links in the show notes so you can see her ice skate and play the violin. Cici is about to head off to medical school this summer, so be sure to get to know her before she leaves us. But I have a feeling she'll be back. Okay, listen and get to know Cici Higgs. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Young Adult World podcast. Cici Higgs, welcome to the Young Adult World podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. How fun.
I'm so excited.
You have been a part of our group. I'm trying to think, as long as I've been here? I don't know. When did you get to Memorial Road?
Well, actually, I grew up in Memorial Road.
Oh, you grew up here?
I did, yeah.
But then you went off to college.
But I kept going here through the campus ministry as well, and just kind of slowly transitioned the last few years into the young adults.
I remember Brian Plum telling me about you when you
really?
when you graduated. He's like, dude, you gotta connect with Cici.
Really?
She's fantastic. She doesn't go to school at OC, so she's kind of, sometimes she's like, you're here, sometimes you're here, not sometimes. You gotta connect with Cici and pull her in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cici, we always learn the stories of our young adults. That's what this podcast is about.
Right.
So we are here to learn your story. So
okay.
I'm excited. Let's jump into your story. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we always start with this question. Where were you born?
Where was I born? Okay, I was born in Guangdong province in China, and I was adopted at 13 months old by my parents.
Do you know where that is in China?
It is in southern China, so it's kind of where Vietnam is, kind of that region.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know specifically. I was born in an orphanage, and the orphanage isn't there anymore.
And so you were in an orphanage, and then you were adopted.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, I can't really remember much as far as personal experience. My parents were having difficulty, having children, like biological children, and they decided to take this leap of faith and decide to apply for this adoption kind of program. They were living in West Virginia at the time.
And so how did the process work? Did they fly over and meet you first, or?
I'm trying to remember what happened. I mean, my mom could probably talk way more about this. But yeah, they had to apply and do all the background checks, and it's all very fuzzy as far as the details and stuff. I think they're given a profile of me, with my pictures in the orphanage, and then just a little bit of history as much as they could understand, where I came from. And all those details are kind of fuzzy. But yeah, they flew over, and I was dropped off at their hotel room in southern China where they were staying, and yeah.
Do you have paperwork from that?
I do. We have it in our house, and they actually went with a group of other families who were adopting as well. And so they all kind of went together, met up in China at a place, and did some sightseeing stuff in China before actually getting all the legal stuff done. And
wow. So you lived in West Virginia first, in America anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my parents were a part of the WVU, West Virginia University, and that's in Morgantown, West Virginia. And so I'm assuming that we had, but I'm pretty sure we had a home there, and that's where I spent the first 3 years of my life, and then we moved here to Oklahoma.
So you were 3. You moved from West Virginia to where?
To Oklahoma.
To Oklahoma.
Where we are now.
To Edmond. Mm-hmm. So you went to grade school and everything here. What grade school did you go to?
I went to John Ross Elementary. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You went to middle school. Where did that funnel into?
And then I went to Cheyenne Middle School. And then after that, I went to Edmond North.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's all all of those schools are within a mile of each other. So it was just perfect how it all laid out.
Okay, so I know a few things about your history as far as what you did when you were a kid. So I want to ask you about these things.
Yeah, sure.
One of them is you played the violin.
Yes.
And so tell us about, when did you start playing the violin? How did that come to be?
Well, it got to the part where I was going into middle school, and I'm pretty sure the school requirements is that each student had to either choose some musical avenue or either join choir for a year or orchestra for a year or band. And they actually had a demonstration at our elementary school before we were deciding this, and they were kind of going through all the instruments that we could play, and they had all the violins there and the choir there and all the band instruments as well. And I was kind of like, oh, all of them sound great. And I guess out of all of them, I wanted to choose clarinet.
Clarinet?
Clarinet,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, actually, I think no. I wanted to choose flute, and then I think one of the teachers brought, I don't know.
Piccolo or?
I don't know if it's a piccolo, the mouthpiece. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. The, a practice mouthpiece to where you could test and see if you could actually blow into a flute or a clarinet.
Gotcha.
So
it had the reed on it?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I tried playing the flute, and I was like, oh, and I think the lady was like, oh, I don't think that's for you. And she's like, try making this, sound or movement with your mouth. And it was for clarinet. And she's like, oh, you'd be good at clarinet. And so, yeah, I was like, okay, I think I'll go to clarinet. But I think it was over the summer. So this was in the spring when they all visited. And so over the summer, what happened is that my mom was like, I think orchestra would be much more your style. I mean, I remember we live right next door to Edmond North, and every morning throughout the summer and the first part of school, we would hear the band play.
Oh, I imagine you
doing
would.
their marching band practice. And
okay, wait a minute. Pause for a moment.
Yes.
I've got to ask, because I hear bands from a distance.
Really?
And I don't know what it's like, though, to live right next door. Was that a good thing? Did you love that, or was annoying?
It wasn't terrible. I mean, you could just wake up and go to work and hear the drums. And so my mom was like, I don't think you'd really like that, like getting up really early and doing band practice. And I just feel like orchestra is just for you. And so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll try it. And so I signed up and did violin, and we had that switched over the summer. And
this was in middle school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right before middle school.
Right before. So that was 6th grade?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 6th grade.
So you signed up over the summer.
Did violin and loved it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. Stuck with it.
So did you have private lessons, or did you just do at school? Like, how did that start?
So I first started with the group lessons that the middle school teacher offers. The teacher recommended that if you really want to excel in violin, it's way better to do the one-on-one private lessons.
Yeah, I hear about Suzuki School.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Did you do that?
I did.
You did.
The whole Suzuki thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, the reason I wanted to talk about this, I wanted to learn your story, but I also, if I'm mistaken, make sure you correct me, but I'm pretty sure you went all the way through grad school playing the violin, right?
Yeah.
So tell us that journey.
What they do is that they have like honors orchestra. Have you heard of what is it? It's not Nationals. It's called Nacho. It's an honors orchestra.
Yeah.
So I remember doing the honors orchestra, auditioning for that starting in 7th grade. Got in almost every year, and then doing a lot of chamber stuff too, and that was really fun, and a lot of orchestral stuff. And then what I really loved about the high school orchestra is that there were just a ton of other people who were just really good. Like, they sounded like professionals, and I was like, man, I just really want to get in that top orchestra.
Yeah.
And you could play with in a symphonic setting with all of the other band instruments and play legit like Beethoven. And
the Music Association in Edmond is outstanding.
It is, yeah.
It's top notch, like one of the best in the country.
Yeah, huh.
And you were a part of that. You got to the top?
Yeah, I did. I just loved it so much, and I've made most of my friends were in orchestra, and we had such a strong community at high school. And
So you went to college to play the violin, or did you do?
I majored in it.
You majored in it, yeah.
I did, yeah. And so I got a degree for Bachelor of Arts in Music with pre-med.
With pre-med, so a double major?
No, it was one major.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I got a violin scholarship, but it allows me to take the basic music classes, but instead of taking all the higher level violin music courses, I just did the rest pre-med prerequisites for med school. So
And this was at OU?
At Oklahoma City University.
Oklahoma City University, okay. And so you graduated with both of those?
A Bachelor of Arts, yeah.
A Bachelor of Arts, and you had those two emphases. Okay, so I know we're going to get back to that part of your life here in just a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I love that you play the violin. And just a little side note, I recorded a song last year, I think it was, for a wedding, and I hired you to play the violin. And I know our young adults, many of them have heard this song, and I don't know how many of them know that it's you playing the violin. So I love that. So maybe we'll play a piece of that here. Oh, how quickly the time goes by. Is there any way to slow it down? I'm so proud of you, my baby girl. You bring so much joy to me. I just wish I had more time. Let's rewind all the way back, because I got to hear about your ice skating.
Yes.
How did you start ice skating?
It was when Michelle Kwan was still going at it. I think it was the 2006 Olympics. I forget which location that was. It wasn't Utah. I don't really remember. But 2006, she was on the TV, and I was like, I want to do that. At that time, I was enrolled in ballet, and I did that for 3 years and absolutely loved it. I loved dancing, and so my mom signed me up at the Arctic Edge for Learn to Skate program, and I remember the first time stepping on that ice for Learn to Skate, and we were learning how to take little baby steps. What they do is that they teach you how to march off the ice, and then they introduce you on the ice as well. And I just remember, I don't know if my face was white that day, but I was absolutely terrified.
How long did you ice skate?
6 years old when I started, and I did it competitively for around 11 years.
Wow.
And then we have these things called tests, like skating tests, where you do a certain set of moves, or what we call is moves in the field, where you do a certain pattern on the ice, and it displays your ability of how to do things on the ice as far as different techniques and different turns that you do on the ice. So we have that test, and then another test which is called like the free skate test. It's where you do different more elements, but it's more kind of lyrical, and you do that part with music. And so at the end of those 11 years, I decided to test out what we call and try to get to the highest level before college, and ended up doing that.
You did that?
Yeah.
So you got to the highest level of ice skating before college?
Yes. So, I mean, honestly, if I wanted to compete at the Olympics, I could.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it might take me a while to get back into the competing realm, but I wanted to if I could.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you miss that?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes I like that freeing feeling, whatever was on my mind as far as school. I feel like skating always took my mind away from that, as well as the violin too. Whenever I was in that zone of just kind of training, isolating my brain from whatever worries, I was able to just pour that side of myself into the skating and really improve upon my craft that I loved.
So when you're watching ice skating on TV now, you're watching the Olympics, are you amazed at what they can do? Or are you like, oh, I could do that? Or...
Ice skating on the TV is a completely different level. I mean, if you ever have been in, I don't know, soccer or any other sport, you know how difficult it is to play at the level that you're playing now. But what you see on TV is the best of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gone through multiple rounds of competitions, won all of those competitions to get where they are as far as nationals.
What were some of your favorite subjects to focus on? What did you love to study? Were you a good student? I'm assuming you were.
Made above average. I mean, of course, my favorite thing was doing the orchestra. But I remember one moment we had in 8th grade where we had a career fair, and we had all sorts of people come in as far as like different careers, as far as the doctor and just plenty of other options that you could do, and they were all presenting. And what really impressed me was this microbiologist that came in, and that really fueled my love for science.
And so you got into science then in high school even more, I'm assuming.
This program in high school as a part of Francis Tuttle, and it was like a biosciences and medicine academy.
Wow, so when you graduated, you got also a certificate from Francis Tuttle as well as your degree from high school from Edmond. So it sounds like though the seed was planted back in middle school of wanting to be a doctor or wanting to study science somehow.
Science somehow. I think once I realized that I wanted to go into medicine was in college. We have, of course, when you take all of your science classes in college, a lot of them are associated with a lab. And I was like, okay, I'll do this science thing and see what lab is all about. And you know, I like doing the labs, but the only thing is that I think the experiments are cool, but a lot of the experiments that you have to do is you're basically kind of boiling reactions. Like it's kind of like when you're cooking, you know, you do all the ingredients and then you pop into the oven and you gotta wait for it. That's the same thing with like science experiments too. You just have to wait a while, and a lot of them have to do a lot of other things besides just doing the bench work. But I think what really got me started into being more clinical about, or getting into the clinical part of science, was going out there and doing clinical experience. As far as being in the clinics and in the hospitals, my first experiences, when I realized that, was actually a part of Lighthouse.
Oh, really? A lighthouse down in
Capitol Hill. And that was like one of my first clinical experiences. I was in my sophomore year and absolutely loved it. I mean, it was definitely chaotic, but I was like, I think the first day when I got there, I was just taking vitals, and I just couldn't believe how excited I was taking vitals and getting to do stuff with my hands and feeling like I made an impact in that way.
Yeah. Tell everybody what Capitol Hill is all about that you're talking about.
So Capitol Hill is an inner city organization and church, Capitol Hill Church of Christ in OKC. And most of them are, I guess you would say, underserved communities. A lot of them are from Hispanic origins. It's a free clinic. You don't need insurance or anything, and you just get free care. And the volunteers there are volunteer based.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think God really used that to change my heart into really having a passion for serving people who, you know, need things like free health care.
Yeah.
And just need someone who will take care of them.
So the time came for you to apply to med schools, which I know is a whole big process.
Yes.
What is it like to go through that process? Tell us what you've experienced.
So each school is slightly different, but when you go into college, you kind of have to get the sense of, you know, what you want to do. So for each school, they require different courses that you have to take. Like they have to have like a transcript of what you've taken. So they require classes like chemistry and microbiology and biochem and physics and all those biology courses and stuff like that. And a lot of those courses will be on this test called the MCAT. You apply to med school through this, through a central kind of application site that a lot of the med schools use. And so, yeah. And then each school will send you secondary applications. So you have your primary application, which is that central application site. And then you have secondary applications, which are school specific. So they'll send you more individualized kind of essay questions as far as, why do you want to go to this school? What makes you interested about our school, versus anyone else's?
Right.
Those kind of questions. And then if you get lucky enough, you'll get an interview and you'll just kind of meet all the admissions people, meet some of the students, and you'll kind of get a sense of what student life is like.
So I know that's a scary process.
Yeah. It takes over like about a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bit of worry that can consume if you're not careful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you?
It kind of, because there's a lot of moving parts, like it could even be that beginning step of when you do your college courses. Those getting through your college courses are a major deal too. The MCAT is another thing that's really stressful too. I know I had a really difficult time with the MCAT as far as standardized testing and trying to stay in focus and studying for that. Of course, the applications are something that can be worrisome because you have a lot of things to make sure that you get, like as far as transcripts, and you have your essays and then your letters of recommendation. And
yeah.
You very well might possibly not get in because of your essay, your personal statement.
Yeah.
And then, the interview too.
How many schools did you apply to?
I only applied to 2.
2?
Yeah, I probably should have applied more, but...
So tell the listeners about what are you about to do?
I'm about to go to Oklahoma State University College of Osteopathic Medicine in Tahlequah.
Woo!
Woo!
So you got in.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
It was actually like the Wednesday that I was coming for church, and I received the call like an hour before church started. I was like, what? I got in. Just answered prayers, and I just remember leading up to it, I was like, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, I'm all in. And I didn't realize how fast it'd be that I'd find out about this. And I was like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing now. So yeah.
I love that, how you really relied on God. You would turn to God and ask for his help.
And a lot of like problems with me feeling like I wasn't worthy. A lot of tears saying like, oh, like, I don't know. It really took a hit to my self-confidence. Like, I don't really know. Like, am I geared to do this? Like, is this path for me? Like, should I just take the PA route? Felt this calling to keep going like through this medicine route.
I think sometimes we downplay God's participation and his behind the scenes work that we don't understand. But when you read the Psalms, like that's exactly how David or other psalm writers talk about God working. When you cry out for help, when you're desperate and you need him, he is ready to step in. How has science or faith interacted with you? I don't know if you've processed that much.
No, I definitely have. I think I kind of had this, I don't know if it was crisis is the right word, but it was a summer course that I was taking. We were talking about evolution.
Yeah.
And I just kind of had this sense of like, well, I don't really believe in this. I don't really believe in the whole evolution thing. And I feel like it's kind of conflicting with my faith. And so, yeah, I definitely kind of struggled through that.
Yeah, you said you grew up here at Memorial. Have you you've always been a part of Memorial your entire life?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
after,
remember, yeah.
what's that?
That I remember.
Yeah, that you remember,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. After campus ministry, you plugged into the young adult ministry.
Well, it was actually during COVID. I think we had a couple of events where it was kind of like a small little devotional. So met in the OC forum as with the launch class. And so we kind of did some combined events. And then there's a period where we were kind of changing campus ministers. You know, J Mac and Hudson were leaving, and then Brian was coming in. Those kind of moments kind of helped me be like, oh, okay, this is where I'll go, you know, after college. And so, yeah.
And are you involved in a small group?
Yes. Devin Sykes and Heather Sykes and the whole crew.
Yeah. It's a great small group.
Yeah. We used to be called the Youngins, but I guess with everyone else coming in, we're not so young.
What is something you wish somebody had told you about your 20s that you just didn't know, that you had to learn?
How much more God is going to play a role in your life. The prayers that you prayed in high school, in college, you know, they might be answered a different way, really turn out the way that you envisioned that it would be, but that you just have to keep trusting.
I think some people are going to draw a lot of courage from what you've talked about.
Awesome.
Well, because you've gone through some things that, man, I mean, you have endured the process of medical school, and there's a lot of people that that are going to go through that. So thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, so you're going to leave in June. So if you're listening, I would encourage you to get to know Cici before she leaves. Not that she's going to be gone forever, and she will visit for sure. But make sure you get to know Cici before she leaves. She's in the launch class. She's fantastic. And if you can convince her to play the violin for you, you will not regret it. Cici, thank you so much for being on the Young Adult World podcast today.
Yes, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. I hope this conversation was meaningful to you. Come find us on Instagram. Our profile is Young Adult World Podcast. Tell us what you connected with during our podcast today. This podcast is part of the Young Adult Ministry at the Memorial Road Church of Christ in Edmond, Oklahoma. Come join us sometime. There's plenty of room for everyone. If you want to reach out to us, don't hesitate to email us at youngadultworldpodcast@gmail.com. And we are so grateful for Jacob Staten. Jacob is a young adult who edits this podcast for us and keeps this thing going. So thanks, Jacob. Okay, guys, see you next time for another Young Adult World conversation.